Your decision to vote must not be based on the fact that I hate this person or this guy is my business partner. Your decision to vote must rely heavily on who will provide the solution to an ailing industry. In that instant case, the woman hated that daughter so much, but she had the antidote to her ailment. She was her savior, not the beloved daughter. This is what we have to take home. It's not about your love for Kurt, your love for George, or your hatred for Oluboy Commodore. If Oluboy can save Ghana football, vote for Oluboy.
In terms of being female, I don't know. Great. No, but I mean, in terms of even when I was working at the Attorney General's Department in Ghana for like 3.5 years, I think they're like 95% female at the time when we had a female Attorney General. So it was like, and that's one of the most powerful, departments in the country, as you know. But I've never been assessed on being female, and I think because I've never thought, I'm female.
Okay, but you're female, whether you like it or not.
I'm female. It's an advantage in terms of, I suppose, the package, the look, or whatever.
Is that an advantage?
It's an advantage because it gets you in the door. But it always it also happens to be what you say thereafter or how you package the message.
This is the second democratically contested election we are going to face. The first one was 2005, and therefore I am very much energized. I am ready to move Ghana football beyond corruption, to move Ghana football beyond aid, to move Ghana football beyond nepotism, cronyism, to create opportunity for all. I have said that my vision is based on 3 cardinal points. First and foremost, to restore the integrity of the sport and make sure uncertainty of results is the order of the day. To also develop grassroots football, which forms the bedrock and the foundation of our football. And the third one is to commercialize the sport, especially the local league. And I believe that when these structures are well established, then the superstructure of Black Stars will function.
Establishing and nurturing a football fraternity and industry devoid of corruption and corrupt practices on and off the field of play. Recognizing the important contribution of stakeholders outside of the football fraternity, as well as seek to cooperate and work with them for the betterment of the game. Ensuring that all grounds provided the safety and security required to make everyone welcome on match days to enjoy the game to the fullest. Ladies and gentlemen, we want our football stadiums to be free, fun, loving for women, children, everybody, corporate, to enjoy the game.
Well, I have more experience. I have done extensive work in investment and commercial law. I have met so many investors. I have negotiated so many international deals. Now you need somebody with that kind of capacity who will sit across any boardroom anywhere in the world and negotiate beneficial and interesting deals for the Ghana Football Association. This is not the time to choose people who are coming to learn. This is the time for seasoned people to get to the helm of affairs and direct football, which is a multi-million-dollar industry.
The vision is to have a Ghana Football Association which is globally recognized, respected, and competitive. So simple. Globally, I'm not limiting our vision to Ghana or to WAFU or to CAF or whatever it is. I'm talking about globally competitive football association. With its products being of the highest stock of marketability. What are the products? Our national teams, our domestic football, our players, even our administrators, our technical staff. It's quite gratifying to know that as we sit here now, we have a number of Ghanaian coaches coaching different clubs outside, including in Europe. This is something we should be proud of, and we must make that a regular feature of Ghana football.
So 6 candidates, one enviable position. Today, the football people would decide, well, it's just about 120, who replaces Kwesi Nyantakyi as president of the Ghana Football Association. One woman, Amanda Clinton, battles 5 men, George Ankoma Mensah, Nanaya Wamponsa, Ket Okweku, George Efriye, and Frederick Papo. We had them tell us what their vision looks like, but let's put the matters into proper perspective. Today is the voting day. 2 of my colleagues are here in the studio, and they will help us with the analysis. Hans Mensah Ando and Bill Eshen. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
It's 120 people voting.
Yes. Yeah.
But, I mean, everybody is looking at who becomes the GFA president.
Absolutely.
We've never been this interested in who runs the GFA.
Of course, and understandably so, because of where we've come from the things we saw in number 12, the agitations from the public calling on government to dissolve the FA. That wasn't done. Government had to collaborate with FIFA to put in place a normalization committee. And people have been very, very interested even in the conduct of the normalization committee and how things have moved. Today, one of the 6 candidates by simple majority will become president of the Ghana Football Association. Like you rightly said, 120 people will be casting their vote to determine who replaces Mr. Kwesi.
Yeah. Bill, yesterday I heard somebody just like your good selves, a sports analyst, saying he was appealing that they will not take phones so that they can capture who they voted for and go and make demands afterwards. What do we know? Are they allowed to carry phones?
Well, they can carry phones, but I don't think they would precisely go and get the exact people who will be voting for who and all that. I think that will be kept under wraps and all that, because it's very important for that to be kept under wraps.
Yeah.
Then again, it's going to be a very interesting process.
Is this a transparent election, though? I mean, especially because everybody's looking at it from where we have come from number 12. Is this an open, or there's still some underhand dealing? Somebody said the person with the most money, if you can sort out people very well, then you are taking the thing.
The person may not be, far from right. From right, actually. Look, we are looking at this as a democratic process. Let's not kid ourselves. When it comes to football, okay, if you are talking in terms of football, Ghana football, this is also very much about money. We heard in the Regional Football Association election allegations that somebody bought watching for some people and so they voted for it. I mean, these are things you cannot vouch for. We want to trust that the people are going to vote based on the policy documents and manifestos that they've presented, and based on the problems confronting Ghana football at this moment, and how well equipped those people will be able to deal with the problems of Ghana football. So, I mean, they are going to go in there. I'm sure that among the candidates, they've lobbied, they've spoken to the delegates individually, apart from the message that they've sold to the public. Now, somebody asked a question that the wider Ghanaian public don't have a vote, so why are they bothering themselves with it? The biggest stakeholders in Ghana football is the fans. And in as much as the fans will not be there to queue and vote, it's important that you get the people, Ghanaians behind you, in terms of whoever wins these elections. If you're FA president in this country, you don't have the support of the people, your job will become very, very difficult. And so, if we go back to the things that we saw in number 12, it tells you how powerful, the wider Ghanaian public is, even though they don't have a say directly in how football is run in this country. So it's very important to rally them around and get their support.
Bill, let's just go back a little bit. Who are these 120 persons who are voting?
The 120 persons, of course, 48 of them are from the Division 1 clubs, 32 of them are from the Premier League clubs, 8 are from the women's side of football, and 20 are from the RFAs, and there are some other segmented people from the beach soccer and all that are going to come into play. And so it looks like from this kind of statistics, of course, that of the Division 1 has about 40% of the votes. If you get that one and the Premier League, then you have a very big chance of winning. So I think all of the candidates will be looking at trying to secure most of the votes from the Premier League side and from the Division 1 side.
Yeah. Hans, we're all looking for a transformation, if you like.
Absolutely.
Is this the election, is it just the election that is what is going to transform Ghana football?
No. I think that a number of issues or factors come into play here. One has already been dealt with. That has to do with the statutes, reviewing the statutes, which was one of the terms of reference of the normalization committee. That has been dealt with. A number of changes, key changes as a matter of fact, have been made. Key among them has to do with the term for the president. Previously was a 4-year unlimited term for the GFA president. He also had the right to handpick his vice. That has also been changed. Now the vice will be, elected from the executive council.
That 11-member council.
Exactly.
Okay. So are they picking from amongst those who contested? As in, so out of the 6, is that where the vice is going to come from?
The vice is going to come from the 11 within the executive council.
Okay.
Yeah. And
okay.
So they themselves.
So it's not up to the president to say, no. Bill, I want you to be my vice, so that I can fire you like we saw Nyantechi do.
Exactly. So
okay.
That has also, been dealt with. Beyond that, of course, this process is also very important in the way it's been very open for Ghanaians to really understand what is going on. But when we are done with this process, the main challenge for whoever wins will be to repair the broken image of the Ghana Football Association. That is very, very important. Whip up confidence, among the Ghanaian public, among corporate Ghana. Those are very important, jobs that whoever wins will have on its plate. So it's not merely about going to the polls and electing a president, but reviewing the statute that has been done, and of course having a proper view of what the challenges are in dealing with them. Also, very, very important is the question of integrity. Look, anybody who watched the Anas documentary would realize that the running theme within everything that we saw was a chronic lack of integrity in Ghana football. From club officials being compromised to match officials being compromised to, players being compromised and stuff like that. And so we need a certain amount of integrity in our game. That is what is going to whip up the confidence. That's why for me, I felt really sad. Somebody like Lawyer Kwekwe here, if you remember from the document, he was one person who actually passed the Anas test, as I call it. He was handed a bribe. He refused the bribe. And it was unfortunate that yesterday he wasn't able to get himself onto the executive council. Somebody said that it was reflective of just how, as a people, we value integrity. But hey, when it comes to the football communities, they speak their own language, and they only understand the language that they speak.
Well, one person we've been talking to on this particular matter is Nana Kweku. He joins us via phone right now to do some analysis on what's going to happen this morning or today. Nana, good morning. If you can hear me, thanks for your time.
Good morning. I can hear you very well.
Great. So this is the day that we've been looking forward to. 6 people standing for one position. Let me ask you first of all, who is your pick? Who can do the job?
I think that everyone has the capacity to do the job in some way, shape, or form. I don't want to commit myself on air because such is the nature of this that once you come out to publicly say something, other people may become quite vindictive against you. So I want to observe from the stand, so to speak. But for what's going on at the moment, I believe that George Afriyie and Kurt Kretu are the front runners, with the dark horse being Nana Yawa Ponsa and Fred Papo. I'm hearing that Fred may pull out this morning. I don't know how true that is, but...
As in he may pull out of the race?
Yes, that's what I heard last night. But, I mean, if he did do that, it wouldn't be a big deal because it's a race that he couldn't win in the first place.
Okay, but why would he consider doing that?
Well, he may consider doing that because he now recognizes he can't win the race. That's why people do that. And perhaps he might be thinking of merging himself with one of the other candidates and securing something by, working his votes with somebody else's. You just can't tell. I know that if you go to the conference hall today, there will be a lot of sleeping-eyed football people there, because people didn't sleep last night. People didn't sleep. They were up. People were up, texting, doing this and that, and what have you, and God knows what. I myself didn't even nod off till about 3, and by 5:30 I was back up, and it's all about the election.
So why couldn't you sleep? I mean, it's just one GFA president.
Well, I know it is, but I mean the way it's going on. I mean, it's as if it's the president of the Republic of Ghana that is at stake. But there's such a huge premium being placed on it by all and sundry. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But I think those two are the front runners.
As in George and Nana Yamponsa.
No, George and Kurt, the game changer.
George and Kurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Nana Yamponsa coming up the back as the dark horse, as the outsider, as the dark horse. It's going to be very interesting today. I mean, I'm getting ready to even go there. Votes don't even start till about 9 or 10. But I'm getting myself prepared to go there, and I know other people are doing the same. It's going to be like a stock exchange, to be honest with you, when you get there.
I was listening to the BBC today. I got a sense that the world is also watching because of number 12. What difference would this make in terms of how the world views us?
Well, let me tell you how I view it, first of all. I was highly disappointed that Evelyn Encia had to come out and say that she felt that she didn't win the race because she couldn't pay her delegate. And I think that number 12 was something that came out that was against the principle of these type of action. And to a certain extent, highlight match officials, blah, blah, blah. We know about Kwesi Yantechi, etc. But it's unbelievable to think that still we are offering gifts and whatever you want to call it for votes. It's unbelievable. And that's one aspect of the corruption that hasn't left us. And, everyone's saying, yes, we'll fight against corruption, we'll do this against corruption, we'll do that against corruption. And yet, many of the candidates, with the exception of 1 or 2, have been giving gifts to the electorate, to the delegates. And I think that's wrong. And I think that flies in the face of number 12. Now, with regard to BBC, I mean, they will always have a pessimistic view about us anyway. There's no two ways about that. And this election won't do anything to make things any clearer for them and the way they see us. Because we haven't had a proper season yet where everybody is employed to do their various tasks. So we can't really judge whether or not the number 12 has had the desired impact that perhaps, and that's wanted it to have. Because we haven't gone into that working situations where referees are appointed and, on what basis are they appointed and whether or not they take sheets or money or whatever or any inducements at all. We don't know. So the world could look on, but they can't say anything at the moment. They can only make, observations.
Yeah.
But we cannot say whether or not the impact is real and whether or not Ghana football will be changing for the better after the election.
Just finally on this, what difference would that one GFA president, what difference would that one person make?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. I think whoever gets elected will have to recognize that the flamboyant way in which Kwesi Yantechi operated will not be afforded to whoever that person is. That the issue of accountability is real, the issue of transparency is real, the issue of inclusivity is real, and so even though you're the president, you have no right to a vote of veto or anything like that. It's your arguments that must stand, your ideals that must stand. And it's your ideals that must compete against the ideals or with the ideals of your executive committee. And only, plausible and pragmatic ideals that will win the day in order to reform Ghana football for the better. It won't be a one-man band where he says, well, I'm the president and I'm doing it my way. It's not going to happen anymore. So, their rush for this seat, it's not going to be the same.
I said that was my last question, but I'm tempted to ask, is Kwesi Nyantakyi still an influence, even in this race at this point?
Well, so it has been said, and the fact that I've even mentioned his name, I think, is a good enough indicator to that. He has been an influence, and we'll see how it bears out. His influence may not carry the day. That's the only problem, because it's quite clear he doesn't want George Afriyie to be the president. Let's call a spade a spade, because when he offloaded Afriyie, he wanted Kurt. And there's also been issues about him also being a backer to Palmer. So we know his modus operandi, and we know where he would like to go. And later on, we'll see whether or not his influence really came to bear. I mean, he's a former president, and he can never be president of the GFA again. The party's over for him, and this is his last throw of the dice, and it's over.
Nana, we'll leave it here. We'll see how this unfolds a bit later on this morning. That's Nana Ajman there, also sharing his perspective on what's happening today. But he points to Kurtz and George Afriyie as the leaders in this race. Yeah, why? Yeah, you want to go first?
Yeah, well, first things first, I did do some research, and I found out that 5 of the executive council members voted into power are actually on the ticket of George Afriyie.
Okay.
Yeah, so that makes it even.
When you say they're on the ticket, what does it mean? They
support.
Okay.
Support-wise.
Okay.
But then again, delegates do decide, and just because the executive council members do support you doesn't mean the delegates won't necessarily.
So the
support
executive council members are not voting today.
No,
they're not. They're not delegates.
No.
Okay. All right.
Pretty interesting. I mean, I heard Nana talk about the powers that the next FA president is going to have, and how Kwesi Nyantakyi operated. Look, Nyantakyi didn't veto some of those decisions. He didn't use a veto to decide that he was going to handpick his president. He didn't use a veto to decide that he was going to have an unlimited term. It was sent to Congress, and it was ratified.
But he had a lot of control.
But the point is that Congress handed him those powers. So if the next FA administration comes and Congress decide to hand those same powers to the next FA president, the point I'm making is that it's not so much about the wishes of the next FA president as it is about, the people that surrounds him and how much power they're willing to hand to him. So I think our focus should really be, and very often that has been our mistake as Ghanaians. We focus too much on the person at the top, and then lose focus of those actually carrying that person. Whatever policies that they have in their documents, whatever plans that they have for the FA are going to be ratified by the Executive Council, by Congress of the Ghana Football Association. Congress is actually the highest decision-making body of the Ghana Football Association. When they say no to a policy, it won't fly. When they say no to a proposal, it won't fly. When they say yes, it will fly. So for instance, candidate A wins, becomes FA president, present a proposal at Congress, I want to have a 5-year or 10-year unlimited term, and Congress ratifies it. You do realize the position that we are in. So the focus really should be on the people at Congress. Alhaji Gunsa referred to the RFA chairman as Guru Boys, and people got angry. But in my opinion, it was a perfect description of what the RFA chairman were under Kwesi Nyantakyi. Because whatever he brought before them, they gave him the thumbs up, they gave him the go-ahead, they supported him. And I think that the most important thing is that we don't have a similar situation.
I'll come back to you for you to explain what Congress means and the makeup of this Congress. But I want to encourage you, if you're watching and you want to send us a message, feel free, 0540 109 009. That's the WhatsApp number if you want to send us a message, 0540 109 009. That's the number on your screen. We're going to take you to, and this is the venue for the election today. So these are live pictures on your screen. This is how it looks like, but it's a bit early. It's 38 minutes after 7. We know that this will get underway at 9 a.m. all eyes, really. It's become a national exercise. It's not just 120 people and 6 people vying for this position. We're live on Facebook, of course, YouTube, and we will not allow you to miss any bit of this. So we're bringing you every little detail when it gets underway. And I wanted you to explain, Hans, the makeup of this Congress.
Exactly. So, I mean, all the real stakeholders of Ghana football, the clubs are in there, schools and colleges are in there. I think the Disabled Sports Association, also in there. The security services, also are in there. So it's just made up of the various blocks, the stakeholders of Ghana football, and it makes sense because they all have a stake in the development of Ghana football, and they decide the direction that Ghana football has to take. And so if the president has a policy, if he has a plan, it has to go to Congress, and then Congress decide whether we want to go ahead with this plan or we don't want to go ahead with this plan. They also decide what goes into the FA statutes.
Okay.
And so one of the running themes during the review of the statutes when they went to Congress to ratify what the NC had brought before them was that, well, we can accept whatever you've put in the statute in respect of your review, and then take control of Ghana football. When we go back, we can decide to make changes. And in fact, Dr. Amo actually alluded to that during, that particular Congress, that look, you don't need to fight us. You can take control of your football, go back and make whatever changes that you want to it. So, I mean, it's very, very important that the focus is really on the people who make the final decision when it comes to Ghana football. Yeah. That is where the focus should be, because the president is just one person, okay? He needs people to back his ideas. He needs people to back his policies. He needs people to back his proposal. If those proposals are not backed, we are not playing ball. If they are backed, and if we are not fortunate enough to have a president who is forward-thinking and decides to go back to the days of Kwesi teaching in terms of deciding to handpick his vice and in terms of deciding to have an unlimited 4-year term, then the entire exercise would have come to nothing, actually.
We're talking about the GFA presidency. There's an election today, starting from 9 a.m. There are 6 people who are vying for this one position, and there is one woman in the midst, one against the 5 men. Yeah. Amanda Clinton.
Now, I mean, I was telling somebody, I will always applaud Amanda for taking that bold step. Look, the Ghana Football Association is very much a men's club. It's a boys' club.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to probably lie to ourselves about diversity and women empowerment and all of that, but the reality is that it's a boys' club. And I think that the idea of football people, having a woman lead them is not something that will really sit with them. And that is the reason why maybe Amanda is going to fall short. There's no expected that she's going. I don't expect her to. I'm sure a lot of people don't expect her to.
Yeah.
But I would hope that beyond this process, she's going to try to be very much involved with Ghana football, because I think that eventually...
She doesn't have a club. She's not running a club. How do you become involved in Ghana football?
I don't think it's going to be too much of a difficulty to attach herself to a club.
Okay. So, Bill, the 120 people voting, is there a woman?
Yeah, there should be some women in there, but it's not as many as the men. The men dominate the voting, and that would be a bit of a disadvantage to Amanda Clinton, of course.
Well, I mean, would they even vote simply because she's a woman? Would it be, I'm a woman, so I'm voting for a woman?
See, the funny thing also is that even for the women within the Ghana Football Association, they and that's my own personal observation, I think they think along the same lines as the men, okay? They think very much like the football people, and that really is a challenge. If you look at the makeup of the FA as we have it, in terms of the RFA chairman and the executive council members who have been voted for, there is only one woman, Madam Habibata. Yeah. Only one woman, and it's likely that she's going to be the only one, because there is no female RFA chairperson, and there is only one female on the executive council. We are not likely to have a female president of the Ghana Football Association. And so it becomes very, very difficult and that is why, in my opinion, women's football is suffering. And that's why I'm hoping that someone like Amanda can actually champion women's football. You don't need to be FA president, you don't need to be on the executive council to be able to have an active voice in how football is run in this country. I think that beyond this point, I would love to see her be very much involved in, you know, the direction that Ghana football takes, and she can do it.
Here are some messages coming through for her. This one says, I'm proud of Amanda, even though I'm not a delegate. Look, good luck to her. I think there's another one directly related to her. Let's see. All right. It's from Kwesi Oxy from Latekria. Pim says, I wish Amanda Clinton should be the GFA president. Women are sincere and just. Let's go to Facebook, because this conversation is on Facebook very much. Let's see what people are saying. You can also send me a WhatsApp message. So who do you tip to win the elections, become the next GFA president? Share your thoughts with us. That's what we posted on Facebook. So here we go with the comments coming through. Sylvia says, I wish all contestants the best of luck, but I strongly believe Mr. Fred Papo will win the election. Nana says, I wish I can examine their heads and know their thoughts before and after winning the election so that I can make a good decision. Onipa to Mrs. You Nana Kwabinakra all day. Elvis says, the best candidate. Martin Luther says, I think Nana, okay, well, I'm not going to read this. Let's stick to the issue. Richard Nani says, Nanaya Amponsa, great guy with innovative ideas. Captain George says, Amanda Clinton, the only non... Oh, are you being real? All right, let's move on. Alexis says, anyone else, so long as it's not Georgia Free, Fred Papo, or anyone who has the blessing of Dr. Nyahu Tamaklo or Nilante Vanderpoy. And that would be Fred. Capson Bright says, if I predict and I win, will you give me? Charlie, you pa. Eddie says, Fred Papo, I hope the rest are incompetent, you think? Gatti Daniel says, George ran away with her winnings when he operated. Okay, we're not going to go there. Emana says, I don't know them and I didn't hear their manifestos, but I'll choose Nanaya Amponsa. Efo Domonyo says, Ghana, our sports system is poor. I hate it. Godson says, Kurt has better policies on paper. George has better understanding of the job and good policies as well. Amanda is still defending men's gold. Okay, well, listen, we all do other things. She is here for a reason. Let's stick to that. Evans McAfee says God's choice for the nation. It's not God that's going to vote, Evans. It's 120 people. Yahya says Fred Papo is the best man for the job. Yeboah says the highest bidder. Chalet. And Nana Chima didn't run away from it. I mean, there's money involved in this game. Evelyn is my friend, actually.
Absolutely.
And she traveled. I spoke to her. I think we were texting. And she was on her way to Cape Coast. And I said, this thing feels like a national exercise. I mean, you have to go to the entire country to meet 120.
Of course.
What funds are you using?
It's like I said, it's very much about money. Look, it's very, very much about money. If it's about ideas, everybody has great ideas. If you look at the manifestos and policy documents, but I keep emphasizing, and I've said it from day one, that this exercise is very much about money. Look, if you look at even the FA, and it's going to reflect in the way the votes, you know, the candidates are going to get their votes. I've heard lawyer, you know, Nkoma Mensah, you talk about that he's not going
to give anybody.
Give a dime to anybody.
Yeah.
Okay. We've heard people, you know, greasing the palms of other people to. We've had stories like that. That is why, for a lot of people, somebody like Palmer, you know, stood a huge chance of winning this one because, according to people, he has money. I mean, the transfer of Joseph Pence fetched him €3 million, which is good money. And so, a lot of people expected that he's got money to spend, and he probably would have spent a few of that money to get himself elected. But of course, those are things that you can't really.
Was there supposed to be an injunction or something like this on this election?
Absolutely. Yeah. So several attempts were made to place an injunction on this one. Yesterday, a couple of days ago actually, we saw bailiffs at the Ghana Football Association premises trying to, hand over court papers, which is suspected to be notice of injunction. But the FA premises were closed.
Even though there were officers in the buildings,
yes,
I
we
heard.
understand. Now, today,
but there are several ways of
this morning, actually, and this is a huge development. Palmer sent an appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sports. One of the reliefs that he was seeking was that an injunction be placed on today's proceedings. That application has been dismissed, but the substantive case is yet to be determined. So, as it stands, from the point of view of CAS, Ghana is in the clear to go ahead with this election. Okay. We don't know of any other papers that will be filed last minute, but as to the one that he sent to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, his application for an injunction has been dismissed.
Okay. All right. We're also going to activate the phone line so you can join in this conversation. This is our football we're talking about. When number 12 was aired, a lot of us were so ashamed. And we haven't really had competitive football in Ghana. How is that fun? How is normalization fun for all of us? So you can give us a call, 0302211691 or 2. But let's read some of your messages on WhatsApp that you've sent to us. Here we go. This one says, I congratulate Mr. Linford Asamoah on winning a seat in the Executive Council Board. My prediction is that the voting will tie between Georgia Free and Nanaya Asamoah. Amanda should press on after this election because her influence will be needed, though she will not come near the winning table of today's election. It's from Da Costa Pond, Chefo Praso in the Central Region. That's where you sent this message from. Okay. This one says, hi to your panelists. How's the feeling of the former president by now? Because he has a clap from Hallo Richard in Akachi. Kusinyantechi has a clap.
Yes, Wild Stars, but
he's been banned.
Of course,
so yeah.
That ruling, and so he's no longer.
Okay, this one says, please voters, this election isn't just about good deal negotiators or tough lawyers. It's not only about youth development. It must be a combination of everything, developing our youth, making our football prosperous, setting a reputation, and our football to be respected. So far, I haven't heard any of the candidates talk about the style of football to adapt or adopt. I watched Ghana at the AFCON, and we had no playing style. Let's vote wisely. Is Kojo in SA sending us this message? This one says, hey. Okay, I'm not going to read this. This one, it's Mr. Ibrahim B.S. Bia from Sierra Leone says, I hope the right candidate will win in the GFA president elections today. Let's just go to the phone lines. Idrisu is calling from Kumbehi in the Upper West region. Good morning, Idrisu. Hello, Idrisu. Okay. Kindly pull that down for me. Let me make a little announcement. When you call, kindly turn down the volume on your television set so we don't get feedback. Let's speak through the phone. That way, we will not have feedback when we're talking. So, Idrisu, if you're still on the line, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Idrisu. Thanks for calling. Let's hear you.
Yes, please. I would like to thank you people this morning for doing a good job. I'm monitoring all the way from Upper West. What I would like to advise is that so many people have lost hope in Ghana football, and then because of the number 12 issue, we are all afraid to elect somebody that will not do exactly. Will not do something that will put back the image of Ghana Football Association. And then I would just urge delegates to not to be looking at what some of the candidates will be given to them, but they should look at who can do the job for Ghana, who can redeem the image.
Okay.
That is what I will urge delegates to do.
All right.
Idrisu, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your call. Let's hear from Hajia Hawa in Ho. Hajia, morning.
Yeah. Good morning, madam.
Afonama.
You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm asking how you are.
I'm also doing good.
Great. Let's hear you.
Please, I'm praying for Amanda to win this election.
Why? Is it because you're a woman and she's a woman?
She's a woman. She can do it. They should give us the chance.
Okay. All right.
Myself, I had a football team.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I have a football team because I'm a woman. We don't have assistants. Those who assistants. So we are praying for Amanda. I'm praying.
Okay. So let's talk about your football team. What's the name of this club?
Eagle FC.
In who?
It's a new team. So
okay. Hello, Haja.
It's called Eagle FC.
Okay. And you say it's a new team?
It's a new team.
Okay.
So I'm praying that a woman should win. Amanda should win.
Okay.
Please, you are a woman too. Campaign for her. Yes, so that she will win and we see women at the top. She can manage, a woman managing something like this.
Okay.
I think it will be better.
All right.
Better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Haja. I like the way you put me on the spot right there. Mose is in Bia West. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Let's hear you.
Good morning, my sweet sister. How are you?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. How are you too?
I'm fine, please.
Great. Let's hear you.
Please, I follow the football. But you see, sister, the old administration, you must keep all of them out and bring the new face.
But this is a new council, isn't it?
Me, I cannot hear that one name calling that former Gamba Oblast CEO. And you see, the Brown half football administration endorsed that person to the free. The vice president for the old administration.
But he was fired, wasn't he?
Oh, madam, let me tell you something, please. I can speak to you, then so many people hear that one.
You can do that, but do it quickly.
Very good. You see, nipa na when you omuka ho omo yes ade no ka ho bibi na si ye. And you dish can you
But how do you know? Because you can't just make an allegation like that.
Yeah, nyankwala na yegu Ghana ha. And na sebi ye wo huru ye ni mfa nkosoro. You see?
And you think because of that perception, so he can't be GFA president?
No, at all.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mose. Joseph is in Sunyai. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, madam.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, madam.
You're obviously interested in who becomes GFA president. Who are you picking?
Yeah, I want Fred Papu Papsi to become the GFA president. So
I have heard people say that he doesn't have money, so even though he can do the job, it may not happen.
It's about intellect, it's about brilliance. And I know for sure he will become the GFA president.
Okay.
For the former vice president of GFA, we don't need him.
George Free.
Yes, we don't need him. He should go. We don't need him at all. Nobody should vote for him. They were in the end of affair and things became worse. And this expose came. So we don't need it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Joseph, for your thoughts. Kobe's in Tadi. Good morning, Kobe.
Good morning, Mama. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for asking. Let's hear you.
My issue has to do with this thing, the executive council thing.
Okay.
You see, the truth is that, the government, in terms of finance, the government puts in more money, resources than any other to the GFA. So if nothing at all, I think at least the GFA Executive Committee Council, at least we should have one government rep on the Executive Council. Because
really?
I can't give you my money.
What difference would that make? I thought we were trying to clear politicians from football. Hello, Kobe.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I was just saying, I can hear you now. Just saying that we're trying to get politicians far away from our football. Why do you want the president's representative on the council? Oh, we lost you there. I would have loved to hear you. Shaibu, and Shaibu from Salaga. I think this will be the last call. We've got lots of messages on WhatsApp that we have to share. Shaibu, you're on air.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
My message this morning is so simple. We have the men that have been oppressed for a very long time and we have not seen anything. So I am just appealing to the delegates, please vote for Amanda and let the woman come and then we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Oh, I hope the delegates will listen to you.
I like the fact that a lot of people, believe that Amanda can do the job. I think it's positive. I think that we need to, get rid of this boy thing that has to do with the Ghana Football Association and have an open mind. Let it be about competence and not about the gender of a person.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I've heard Amanda talk about the fact that, look, the fact that I'm a woman does, nothing to my chances. And I want to see a lot more women involved, be daring enough to want to try to lead the Ghana football, not just be on the executive council and be an RFA chairperson and all of that, but let the women try to break barriers and try to become an FA player, try to get into CAF, try to get into positions at FIFA. That is very, very... You heard the woman who called from who? She has a club and she's not getting support. It's a story of all the female clubs, women's football clubs in this
And
country.
Is that because we don't have a woman at the top?
We don't have women in key positions representing the interest of women's football. And I think that has to change.
All right, let's share some more of your messages as we bring this conversation to a close. This one says, George Free is the man to change our football, and I'm glad he's winning. Referees' arrears are still not paid. GFA is playing with referees. I think you, the media, should always help us for problems to be heard. It's from Matthew in Kumasi, sending this message. This one says, since it is said that in anything, ladies are the first to be considered, I'll urge the delegates to rally solidly behind Amanda. And let's see for the first time a female GFA president, because all the male aspirants have nothing good to offer us. Rashid, number 3, Pristia in the Western region. That's where you're sending this message from. This one says, good morning. Congratulations to Fred A. Champong. We wish... okay.
Fred Achi.
We wish for the right candidates to win and help develop our football. I'm Richard Ampofo from Dunkwanessen School campus. This one says, let us all support the young candidate to win. He can brand our football to that of EPL. Who's the young candidate here?
Yeah, referring to the Nayamponsa. But you see, this is not really about branding our football. This is about getting it right, getting the structures right, getting the structures working. We have a technical directorate of the Ghana Football Association that is not functioning. Those things need to be fixed. We need to bring in somebody who can put in place the proper structures, not just glossing over the problems of Ghana football, but really going to the depths of the problems and solving it. It's not really about who is going to put the gloss on the surface of it.
All right, this one says, I want to wish all candidates best of luck, but I prefer the delegates to vote for the woman because women are less corrupt in a position. From Mbawini Jonas at Garu Tampani. That's where you're sending the message from. And no, I did not ignore your message. This one says, let's choose the right person to restructure Ghana football. Jos Aite Nkpong sending that message. This one simply says the best and right candidate should win. Anyway, I'm for Kurt Eben inside Asin Fusu. There's money in the job that is... okay, I'm not sure this is clear enough. Let's see. This one says, it's from Amate from Ashaman. Says, sadly, they are not going to vote for ideas, rather for money. Very, very sad indeed. As for the woman, okay. Well, but you don't know what they're going to vote for. I mean, we're not in their heads, so we can't say for sure what it is that they're going to vote for. But they are football people. They all are coming from the clubs, absolutely, right? Yeah. So it's, what is it? If they love the game, and we're hoping that it is in the name of the game that they're going to vote, then we're hoping that they're going to vote based on issues.
That's what we are hoping that they are going to do. But again, the football community in Ghana have their own language that they speak, and only they understand, like I said. And so for us sitting here, we can only hope that they are going to look at the manifestos and the policy documents and scrutinize them properly and compare them to the problems bedeviling Ghana football at this moment, and decide on the candidate with the right ideas and the right capacity to fix the problems of Ghana football. I mean, it would be really sad, okay, if we look back 2 years from now and still talk about the same problems, that confronts Ghana football at this moment. And so we can only hope and pray that they go there and do the right thing.
Okay, last two messages and then we wrap up this conversation. The GFA presidential elections today will serve as an example for other African nations. So please follow, fellow Ghanaians, do your level best to put GFA at the... Okay, Ibrahim, BS Bia. I think I've read a bit of the message and I see where you're going with it. This one says, we thank God Almighty, Allah, for giving us another day for the GFA presidential elections. I want all the delegates to vote Amanda Clinton. If not, if any male, I think you're saying that if a male is elected, Anas will be back again in number 13. It's from Northern Governor sending this message. Very interesting that even on this day, we remember number 12 because it's the reason we're here. What are your expectations finally before we wrap up, Bill?
Well, I expect the best.
Who is the best?
I can't really judge.
Cats,
because
George Free. Fred Papo,
all of them
don't give me that.
No, all of them have the ideas. In the presidential debate that they did recently, they did put across a lot of ways to solving problems. A lot of them are geniuses at that. All of them actually have their own way.
But as a sports journalist, as an analyst, as a pundit,
well, I'm not going to choose sides.
I don't like you. I like you, Hans.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're going to like me after I'm done. Let me give you a scenario, okay? I want to see Fred Papo become FA president and the Ghana Premier League become autonomous, led by Keto Kweku.
So you're looking for a Fred Papo
as FA president, okay? And then we make the Ghana Premier League autonomous. The Premier League, in England, the Premier League is a limited liability company.
So we kind of mirror what happens in England?
Absolutely, because I think that Kurt has a track record of, being able to organize these competitions and do it very, very well. I think I can bring that experience to bear. What is sad about this process is that we may end up having a winner-takes-all situation where if one candidate wins, the rest will be out of the Ghana Football Association because they can't be on the Executive Council. And unless the president decides he's going to put them on one committee or the other, they may not be involved. But I want to see a situation where we make the Ghana Premier League autonomous and somebody like Kurt Kweku, being the CEO of whatever of the Ghana Premier League. It's high time we separate the Premier League from the FA. I've said it, a lot of people have reiterated it. The Ghana Football Association should not be the league organizers. We should move past that stage.
Interesting. I like that idea very much. All right, we see how this happens. It will start at 9. Yeah. Are they voting at 9 or are there some kind of ceremonial speeches and things like that? What should we expect?
I'm not too clear on whether they are going to be speeches. I don't expect that they are going to be speeches. I think that I expect them to get right down to business. There's a small matter of one more person to be decided on the Executive Council. Yesterday there was a tie between the Central Regional FA chairman and of course.
Okay, so that's the yet to be decided.
Yet to be decided.
Okay.
That should be decided today.
Okay.
They attempted to separate the two of them, but after 3 attempts, it still didn't work, and so they pushed it to 3. So I'm sure that will be decided before we move into the FA.
Is there a possibility that there could be a tie with this presidential election?
It's possible, I think.
Yeah. What happens when there's a tie?
Well, a second round, obviously.
Okay.
But it's a simple majority. It means that if anybody wins by even one vote, he becomes FA president. So, interesting.
Hajia Hawa from Who You Called. You wanted me to support Amanda Clinton. I actually don't know who I support. I mean, it's maybe because I don't know them so well. I've heard a lot of people talk about Fred Papo. Somebody told me yesterday that he can really do the job. Yes, he can absolutely do it. He knows football administration.
Absolutely.
But because of the whole money thing involved, even just like our national election.
The reason I mentioned Fred Papo is that I think that he showed a measure of integrity by walking away when he felt that he and the previous administration were moving in different directions. And that for me was very, very important. It's also the reason why I would have loved to see somebody like Kweku here on the Executive Council. That hasn't happened. Of all the qualities that we need in an FA president, I think that integrity is very, very important.
Absolutely, especially because of where we have come from and where we are.
Absolutely. If you have somebody with integrity, I think that is going to drag, all the others along in that direction. And then automatically we are going to enhance the image of the Ghana Football Association, which will be a tough job. And so if you have somebody like that, it whips up confidence that, look, okay, we are seeing a different age. The football people haven't voted for the same kind of people that we've had in the past. They've become forward thinking. They voted for somebody with real integrity. And that for me.
Well, I pray we get that, really. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Hans. Stay with us here on Joy News because we'll bring you live coverage of that presidential election. It is from 9 a.m. and we will bring you all the angles to this right here on Joy News.